Well, here we are, the day after episode 133, and this is the last broadcast. So, good afternoon to you. I had to wait for the St. Stephen Ganong whistle to stop blowing. Um, but I'm in a conundrum today because I want to be a gracious loser. And so, of course, that means congratulating the winner, Kathy Bacchus, congratulating Troy, who took in, I believe, 28% of the vote, and um, being happy that we brought in, as Greens, our team effort, 20% of the vote. Which means 1 in 5 voters put their faith in me to do the job of MLA, read the Green platform, and got behind that, saw that we had incredible ideas for positive change in this province, uh, and believed in the 5 things, the 5 things that we knew we would get done. I had no doubt in my mind. I knew it would be difficult, but I had no doubt that Campobello would get that ferry. I knew I could do it. The courthouse, I knew we would get that back because what is happening with Campobello is not sustainable. What is happening with um, public safety is not acceptable. And any of those things, any and all of those things, we need out of the cold. We need affordable housing. Only the government can do that. You know that I've been talking for 133 days, about these things. I also had no doubt, though, that that I would be elected. I believed that there were so many tipping points along the way where people, would come up to me and say, "My entire yoga class is voting for you," or I had an electrician over here the other day, and he said he's voting for you. He's never voted anything but conservative. But him and the guys at his shop and plumbers and teachers and so many elected officials, heads of nonprofits, um, and community leaders, public servants, just an outpouring saying that they voted for me. I voted for you. We voted Green, Mark. We just took a chance this time, and so that has been incredibly overwhelming and humbling that almost 1,500 people in this riding believed in the vision, and that is why I really had no doubt that I would be the MLA. But apparently that was misguided. And that is the surprise this morning and the conundrum. People are saying to me, "Mark, you must be so disappointed." And you know that I was contemplating doing this role as MLA. It was going to be overwhelming getting us these things that we need. But I was up to the challenge. I have the skill set. I had the passion and the hunger. And so this is my conundrum this morning, is saying all that and being a gracious number 3 in the riding, but also everything I said is still true. So I just thought about how to approach this. What is the same today, and what is different, and how do we have hope? How do we continue to have hope in that sameness and in that difference? So, you know, what is different today is the province, how the election went, and that gives us great hope. And I want to end there. But what is the same, obviously, is we wake up this morning with the same MLA. And I was telling some people I honestly believed that I would win, that people saw what I could do, and that the riding would not say no to me, to what I was putting out there in terms of the plans, the abilities, the competencies, all that. There was, a little part of my brain that said the liberal machine is humongous. I told you that what I was struggling with was a lot of people saying to me, "Mark, you're clearly the best candidate, but," and that "but" was always heartbreaking. that is just a symptom of our system, I believe, when somebody looks at a candidate and says, "You're clearly the best, but," and it was always, "Yeah, I don't want to split the vote," or, "I think the liberals are stronger," or all the things, but only the other party can really oust the existing. So there was always that. And so that's why I thought, okay, um, it's quite possible the Liberals will win in this riding. And Troy, you ran a great campaign. It was such a pleasure to meet you. Such a great guy. And I thought, if Troy is my MLA, I will be just fine with that. I had concerns, of course, about what has happened in the past, about backbench MLA, somebody not strong enough. This again is my conundrum. I want to be gracious today, but everything I said at the Meet the Candidates event and on here for 132 days, it's all still true. And so what is also the same and still true is we have an MLA reelected who genuinely does not do the job to the best capacity when you look at other ridings and other MLAs. That is just objectively true. That's not about party or anything like that. And I'm not piling on. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. And it's this. I did not contemplate that as a possibility. I genuinely didn't. I thought I was going to win. I thought the second possibility was that Troy might win. You saw what happened in the province last night. The province went red for the most part. We did not jump on that train in our riding. But what I did not believe, because of what I said, an election is the only essentially performance review. It's the only performance review of how the MLA did. And every meeting I've had with, as I said, heads of nonprofits, elected officials, public servants, has said our MLA is not present. Our MLA is not at the meetings, does not know what's going on, does not actively get involved, is not networking and finding things out. An example of that is the Canoose flowage dam. This happened in broad daylight a few days ago on Facebook, so that's why I can say it here. And I'm trying to be constructive here. I doubt that Kathy tunes in here, but uh, I had people reaching out to me a few days before election day yesterday, and that's again why I felt like, oh my gosh, people are tending to almost already see me in the role of MLA. Mark, what's going on with the Canoose Dam? Can you find out? And so I started to make some phone calls. I had a meeting with John Ames. I reached out to ECW. They said, oh no, we think this is St. Croix waterways. You follow the breadcrumbs. Somebody who lives up there called Nadine was texting me, messaging me. She made some phone calls, and I called her. There was kind of we were constructing how many people were involved in this Canoose Dam, what exactly is going on. Nadine found a whole bunch of things out, but Nadine messaged Kathy Baucus again in the comments, and Kathy's response was, oh, I'm not currently the MLA, but if I get reelected, I will have access again to my official contacts, and then I can get you an answer. And that, I think it explained a lot, just in the sense of maybe this is a person who doesn't understand that the business of improving your community is not about official contacts. It's just about contacts. It's about people on the ground doing the work, heading up projects. You can always go and start asking questions, follow the trail of breadcrumbs, and find out what's going on. You always can. And that's why for 4 months, as I've campaigned, I've been able to find answers, learn things. I brought you 132 days of content without any official contacts, right? And so here we are in this position with an MLA once again who believes things like that you need official contacts, who has not been at the tables, who has not been at the meetings, who has not been championing our rural needs and causes in Fredericton. And so that's the same now. And I think, as I said before, all the things that remain true, all the despair and discouragement and disillusionment I was meeting at the doors Well, now we wake up to more of the same, and some would say maybe even worse, because now our MLA is not a member of the government, and of course doesn't have the leader whipping and directing. Now, here's where I want to make a turn here and say I think there is possibility for hope. And again, if Kathy does watch this, I hope that she hears from this election. Again, being re-elected, and I told you this when you're thinking about strategic voting, being reelected is just a full like endorsement. So, part of me thinks, is she going to look at the 3,100 people in our riding who said, yes, you're doing a great job, and just think, great, I'm going to continue to do what I've always done? Or is she going to see the 28% that voted Liberal, the 20% that voted Green, and say, okay, wow, almost half the riding, more than half of the electorate, if you count the other parties, actually voted not for the Conservative Party in our riding. Again, this is our system. It's really bad. The Green Party, part of our platform was electoral reform, some sort of ranking system, some way to make sure that this wouldn't happen, that we are not essentially led by the minority, who most of us did not vote for. But here's why I am hopeful, and this is what this is the same today. There are some differences, and I'm wondering if Blaine Higgs was in some ways stifling Kathy Baucus. That is the hope. That is something we can hope for. The province said no to Blaine Higgs and his very draconian, controlling leadership. And that is essentially the only hope that I have. But so many people have reached out to me today saying, Mark, thank you for the hope. Somebody last night said 20%, 1 in 5 of the electorate. We found a place to land, Mark. We found a place to find community and share ideas and find each other and hope together. That means the world to me, especially the 50, 60 people who showed up at the office last night to watch the election results. That was so beautiful, so amazing. I will forever cherish that. So that's one thing that's different today, is we will see if Kathy has internalized the needs, the things that we found out at the Meet the Candidates event that she was for. She's for the ferry. She's for the courthouse. She's for the things. We didn't know that, but now we know. And does she have the capacity now to go to Fredericton with this Liberal government, without again, controlling draconian boss, and actually champion for us and rally for us? Maybe that's possible. So that's one hope I have. And then, of course, the other hope is that the change of government. I am confident that Susan Holt does believe that money needs to be spent and needs need to be fulfilled. I think we share that kind of idea, where the previous premier believed that you need to cut to the bone. He's running it like a business, which I've made the case that's not how you run a business. And so I do believe that Susan Holt will be the kind of person who wants to help us out with all the needs that we have in our riding. And the other hope, and this is where I want to end, is that the other thing that is the same is that you're still here. And so I just want to thank everyone along this ride who I got to meet. And I always said the job of the MLA is to network and to find the people who are already doing the great work. And so when people say to me this morning, you must be so disappointed, Mark. Hey, I get back to a job that I absolutely love. My business has been sinking a little bit in the algorithms because I've been so busy, running to be your MLA. But this riding said no to that. And I said, I made all these videos because I want you to clearly say no. And so the riding spoke loud and clear. But I feel disappointed for the people who are doing the work, who historically have looked to our MLA, asked our MLA for things, and not gotten responses, not gotten the help they need. That's who I'm disappointed for this morning, not me. I don't, I'm going to go back to a life that I absolutely love. I was asked to run. It was such a joy. I learned so much. I fell in love with the people of this riding all over the place, knocking doors. So thank you for that. I'm disappointed for the people who now have to continue to work with an unresponsive, uninspired MLA. But again, maybe that will change. Maybe that will change because of all the needs that were brought up, the awareness that maybe that MLA has now, that elected officials, nonprofits, public servants are looking to the MLA. And so we will see if that changes. But I want to say, friends, this community is being built and it's made by you. The service clubs, like I'm a member of the Rotary Club, the nonprofits, the all we make up the we are the fabric of this community and this riding. That's something that did not change today with the change, with the non-change of an MLA, with a new election result. We're still here, we're still building, and that is the biggest cause for hope. We have a new premier, we have a new government that, again, I do believe wants to help every riding. We are still here working and advocating and championing and building. So that's the same. The only wild card is our MLA is the same, but maybe even that can change as we all work together in this beautiful place. We want to see our needs met so we can feel safe and thrive together. And I do believe we're on that path. Thank you very much for an amazing ride. I appreciate you watching this last live. We're going to pull the plug now, and I will see you